We all wish for a positive future for ourselves, our family, our children, and our community. How about a mindful future that benefits us and the planet? Hi, I'm Anne Marie Emanuele, Creative Director and founder of Mindful Frontiers, an education based meditation center. Vipassana meditation instruction is my life path, and I believe it's important for families to practice mindfulness together. In Welcoming a Mindful Future podcast, I speak with people from all walks of life and discuss how to bring mindfulness into their family's routine. Each episode includes conversations about mindfulness and meditation, a guided practice, feedback, plus suggestions for next steps. Join me in welcoming a mindful future, one present moment at a time. We all have busy schedules, and some days are more hectic than others. Just getting out of the house to school can be a major challenge some days. In this month's podcast, I talk with the Oberczynski family. This conversation is an honest look at how they are trying to bring balance and relaxation into their family routine. I enjoyed reconnecting with the Oberczynskis. Both parents believe in mindfulness, and their energetic children understand what mindfulness is, which is an important foundation in creating a relaxed home life. I hope your family will learn from this casual conversation. Hello, everyone. This is Anne Marie Emanuele from Mindful Frontiers. Today, in the Welcoming a Mindful Future podcast, I am with the Oberczynski family of Taos, New Mexico. So I want to say welcome to Sarah and Sam and their daughters, Zia and Rowan. We met last fall at Rethreads, a local resale shop that Sam and Sarah own. And this was in October. We organized a mindfulness workshop for the family, and we were in the open space behind Fred Baca Park, one of our town parks. And today we're going to talk about how mindfulness practice is going for their family. We'll share a short meditation together, and then we'll discuss how to move their family practices forward. So for those listeners who may be unfamiliar with mindfulness, my definition is that anytime we pay attention on purpose to what's going on, one moment at a time, we are practicing mindfulness. We observe with curiosity and without judgment, choosing something as our attention anchor. It can be the breath, sound, body sensations, a visual image, even something tangible like a drawing or writing can be a mindful anchor. We may use a daily activity as a mindful practice too, and we'll talk about that more about that later. So, hello Sarah, hello Sam, and hi Zia and Rowan. It's nice to be with you and your family again. Um, Zia and Rowan, how's school going for you this year? Good. That's great.
Good.
Very good. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. And so, Sarah and Sam, in your responses to the podcast questionnaire, I read that Sam has a personal meditation practice. So, Sam, would you tell us a little bit about your meditation experience?
Um, I guess I've been doing it for a while, maybe 10 years, where I'll sit for some time and just try to focus on something immediate, like my breath or something like that. It's somewhat challenging to find the time to actually do that, but I've had varying success in sort of setting aside a window for that, but sometimes.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. I was wondering, Sarah, have you ever done meditation on your own?
Um, I don't think, I guess I don't consider it really meditation. I guess I've taken time where, I mean, I'm a big puzzle doer. And so, like, things like that, where I kind of get into that zone. Um,
Yeah. I
so, but
I
I
would
don't,
think that would be definitely meditative to, because you have to really focus, and certainly it's a mindfulness practice because you're having to be really to pay attention to the shapes of the puzzle. So I would say that you do have a mindful practice of your own. Yeah. I also read in your answers of the questionnaire that your family likes to snowboard, you like to be in nature, you like to go on hikes and play games together. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about that because that sounds really fun. And here, living in Taos, we certainly have a lot of opportunity to be outside. So I wanted to ask Zia and Rowan about this time that you guys spend together outside. So um, either of you, Zia or Rowan, whoever wants to speak up first, what are your favorite activities to do as a family?
Snowboarding.
Yeah.
Snowboarding.
Snowboarding sounds like that's your favorite. Are you really good snowboarders?
Yes.
That's cool. And what do you like about it? Like both of you said that snowboarding you really like. What is it that you like about it?
The turns and
The turns?
straight and the way I can
Yeah. What about you, Zia?
go. Going down moguls.
Really? You can actually go on moguls with a snowboard?
Yes.
Wow. I'm impressed. I am really impressed. So now for the parents. Would either of you share some mindfulness activities that you've been doing at home since we last met in October?
um, I would say, I mean, I really appreciated, I think I read, in one of your articles in the Taos News, and it reminded me to come back in. We eat dinner together every night, and when we sit down trying to do some reflection on the day, whether it's like what was really great about the day or what was hard,
That was horrible.
what was horrible, what are you grateful for, what made you laugh, and so
Do you like cats?
well, everybody likes cats. And so we've been, I think trying to revisit that practice. Um, and then I just, as far as like our home, I feel like there's been a shift in that we're all trying to be and create some mindfulness around like where our things go and and systems so that we always know where to find things and where to put them back, and so there's not so much thought around that, you
Mhm.
know, or
Yeah.
that there is thought, there's mindfulness around it.
There's mindfulness, yes, but when you have to go look for it, there's less like maybe stress looking for it because you know where it's going to be. Yeah.
And I think it breaks that mindfulness, like especially for like I see like Zia and Rowan when they're really engaged in their art, and then they need something, and they can't just go get it, and then it like interrupts that mindfulness.
Hmm.
Same for like if we're cooking or something, samurai, those sorts of things. So
Hmm. Cool. Anything else, Sam? Did you want to add to that? Anything that you guys have been doing together?
um, a little bit. I mean, sometimes we actually do the puzzles together, which is kind of
yeah,
a family time to sit and think. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like the kind of most mindful times. I mean, we've done a little bit of some crafting time that I feel like crafting is somewhat of a moving meditation, I guess.
Yeah. No, I think it is too. I think it is too. I do crafts, I do crochet and knitting, and I think one of the things I like about that is that it's really paying attention to something and that becomes a mindfulness or a meditation practice. I think so. I agree with you. Um, so next question I'd like to ask you is, what's the biggest challenge, or what are some challenges that you have experienced with bringing mindfulness into your home? Either of you want to chime in on that?
I mean, I feel like there is kind of the time aspect. I mean, it's always there's a lot of time stresses just generally, and I'm not sure that it's not more accentuated now, like in the current environment. But yeah, there's a lot of just always got something we need to do that
Right.
isn't necessarily what we want to be doing, I guess. But
Yeah. Yeah. I understand. Sarah, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I feel like for me the consistency, like we'll get into a habit, like say at the dinner table of checking in, and we'll do it for, 4 or 5 nights, and then something happens where our routine's not the same. And so finding that routine, creating that routine, I feel has been challenging.
Okay. Cool. I think that's completely normal. So we'll talk about some ideas later about how we might be able to, I don't know, kind of spruce that up a little bit. Um, and what are some things that have come up for you as a family while you were doing mindfulness? And what I'm looking for is, have you had any realizations or something surprising or even something wonderful that happened or exciting? Like an aha moment, possibly, you know?
I mean, I would say that I feel like it's really, I feel like it's brought us all closer together, where we can kind of, I see it for myself, and I sense it for like Zia and Rowan, for all of us, that we kind of been slowing down.
So when you do it, like when you're at your meal and you guys are doing like a gratitude check-in or something, you actually notice a feeling of coming together. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, that, and I just feel like overall holistically that we're, kind of growing more in, say, slowing down and listening to each other. Um, when maybe things get kind of crazy or, heated. Um, and also, like, I feel like for all of us individually, like slowing down ourselves, I feel like
Mm,
that's been happening a lot more in our home. I mean, we're certainly still working on those things, but um being able to identify, like, I gotta slow down,
yeah,
mindful.
yeah,
I'm using my voice, like,
right. Oh,
and we're checking each
like,
other more on it too, like
yeah,
comment like, hey mom, you're starting to like raise your voice, or like, this doesn't have to happen right now, or
yeah,
in that way. So, and then a lot more quality time.
yeah. Well, I think that it's nice that you're able to, it sounds like there's some moments that you've had where you've actually been able to help each other, like
Hmm.
notice it for each other. And I think that's the beauty of being in a family and trying to bring it into the family, is that you are one nice little, you're a group, and then you love each other, and you want this to be nice for the family, so someone will notice, oh, someone's raising their voice or maybe not paying attention. I think that's lovely. I think that's a really lovely realization that you've had. So what I'd like to do now is actually help you guys have a little moment of mindfulness. So if Zia wants to come back and join us, I'll ring the bell like we did when we were together, or in the park. And Rowan and Zia, do you still want to use the breath as our mindfulness anchor? Do you guys still want to use the breath?
Yeah.
Well, let's all get into what we call our mindful bodies. Remember, this is where we're relaxed and we're comfortable. Wherever you are, just move around and make sure that you're in a place where you can just be nice and calm and relaxed for a few minutes.
It's
And I'll go ahead and ring the bell, and then we'll get going. When we hear the bell, it kind of tells our body that we're going to do something special, that we're getting ready to be quiet and calm. And let's go ahead and start by taking 2 deep breaths. So you breathe in and really fill your lungs and then let it out. And we'll do another one like that. And let it out. And when we take these deep breaths, it helps our body to relax. It stimulates that parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part that relaxes, okay? And so now just let your breathing be normal. And actually notice and decide where you want to notice your breath. Do you want to notice it at your belly going in and out? Do you want to notice it at your chest going out and in? Or do you want to notice the breath at your nose where the air comes in and out? You decide whichever place works for you. And if it's helpful, we can actually put our hand on our belly or our chest or both and actually watch the breath as it goes in and out of the body and as our body moves. So let's just notice our breath on our own for a few quiet breaths. So if your hands are on your belly or your chest, you might notice that the breath is going as it goes in. Maybe the chest or the belly is expanding, getting bigger, like a balloon. And when you breathe out, you notice that the balloon gets smaller. So let's do that for a few more breaths. And so now we're going to do a breathing practice where we count our breaths. And what we're going to do is count 4 in and then hold our breath for 2 counts and then breathe it out for 4 and then hold it for 2 and then repeat that. That's called a box breathing, where we actually count certain amount in, we hold, and then the same amount out. So when you're ready, try to coordinate our breaths. Okay, and on our inhale, we're going to inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, and out 2, 3, 4, hold 2. Let's do another one like that. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, and out 2, 3, 4, and hold 2. Now just breathe normally. And again, just notice the breath going in and out of the body. And so maybe while we're doing this, we might get antsy or fidgety. We might get some thoughts in our head. And it's okay. We just notice that we're feeling that way. And then we try to just gently come back to noticing the breath. So let's notice the breath for a few more. And we'll do one more breath practice. And this one, you just count in when you breathe in, 2 when you breathe out, 3 when you breathe in, 4 out, and we try to go to 10. But it's not a competition. If we don't make it to 10, like if we get distracted, then we just start again at 1. So I'll count the first couple, and then we can count them for ourselves. So when we're ready for the next inhale, we're counting in, out 2, in 3, out 4, and now count at your own rhythm. So we count in and out. So you can keep counting while I explain that the reason that we do these counting practices is it gives our mind something to do. It's really hard to not have thoughts. And we actually can't not have thoughts. So what we do instead is we just give our mind something to focus on. So we notice the breath, but we're also counting, and the mind likes that. Likes to have something to do. So keep going for a little bit longer. You guys are doing great. Just a few more breaths, and then I'll ring the bell, and we'll come out of this practice. Your eyes were closed. You can open your eyes now. Look around the room. Come back to the space where you are. Zia, you were really quiet. You were really calm while we were doing that. I noticed you.
I was 80.
You did a great job. Now let's talk a little bit about how to help and move your family forward. I really like hearing that you've been doing mindfulness at the dinner table. That's a wonderful time. And I'm wondering, what else would you like to learn about? What else would you like to find out about how to bring it into your family?
I feel like there's moments that maybe I would like to have a more mindfulness around our routine activities, like actually like focusing on I guess their routineness.
The routine, the routine
Yeah, I mean
of what's good.
sort of like maybe being mindful of how we move out of the house or move to like, especially in the transitions. I feel like there's a lot of things that go into that, and I feel like maybe being more mindful of that there are all those things and the order in which those things go
Mhm.
is would really kind of help our family have smoother times transitioning.
Yeah, from one activity to another, or like leaving the house to go to school or that kind of thing. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, on an organization, on a purely organization way, I would maybe suggest a list. You know, that there could be a list by the door or by wherever that activity is taking place. There could be a list. And maybe the girls could either write or draw pictures of what each step is, possibly. And then the mindfulness part of it would be right before or leading into that transition, maybe saying, okay, what do we need to be doing right now? Let's be mindful. Let's think about what we're doing right now and what do we need to be doing first. Something like that. That's I think that's what comes to mind. Because I'm thinking about the bell. When I use the bell, it is in itself sort of a reminder to the body that something's going to happen, like that we are transitioning from whatever we were doing to a mindfulness or a meditation practice. Learning what that expectation is, like what is that system that we want to put into place, and then reminding each other, okay, mindful reminder, and maybe even use that word. Okay, everyone, we've got a mindful reminder. What are we doing right now? Let's all check out where we are.
Those are really good ideas.
And take a deep breath. Let's all take a deep breath, And now what needs to happen next? And maybe going to that list. Sometimes we're visual, right? Some people are visual and need a reminder to see what needs to happen at that moment. How does that what are your thoughts on that?
It's interesting you mentioned it because actually we've had lists for some of our routines for bedtime and in the morning. And now they work, and you girls know their routine pretty well. Somehow they just disappeared off our refrigerators. So
yeah.
Operating with them, but they were actually really helpful.
I saw the cats mess.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because I work for an architect, and she draws these pictures of like you're going skiing, and she has like everything you need, and we have one right by the door. So like gloves, like boot, like things for something like that. That it's just like it is a nice reminder to like, I mean, maybe we need one for school, like, oh, backpack, shoes.
Right.
Do you have
and maybe just using the word, okay, everyone, we're taking a mindful moment to see where we are. What do we need to be doing right now, right? Everyone take a breath. Let's all notice our breath and notice where we are. And now let's together, mindfully, what is the next thing that needs to happen, right? Maybe that might be something that could be incorporated into it. Every time we stop, take a breath, notice where our body is, notice where we are, we're reconnecting, and then we can move forward to make a decision of what's next.
Yeah, I do feel like some way to break out of like continuousness to like, okay, we're in a transition now. We're changing.
We're changing now from what we were doing before. Right. And I'm actually noticed something about both Rowan and Zia is that they have a lot of energy. And so something that might help is, let's say they're you're trying to get out the door and there's a bunch of things going on, and Zia's running this way and Rowan's running the other way or whatever. I don't know if that's what happens or not.
Pretty accurate.
So somebody decides to be the mindful reminder or the leader and says, okay, everybody, freeze wherever you are, freeze and take a breath.
What if you're on a tippy toes?
Freeze and take a breath, right? And then, okay, where do we need to be right now? What do we need to be doing right now? Because what I know what happens in my family is we get heightened, and then all of a sudden it's like, so-and-so, come here, and you get over here. And then it kind of gets the energy maybe all riled up, and then we feed off of each other.
Come on, get your socks on, let's go.
Yeah, come on, let's go, get your socks. Hey, where's your jacket? Right.
Have you heard Mom say that before, girls? Yeah.
And then pretty soon we're all like just, all, I don't know, triggered and all that. So maybe it's like someone decides, okay, mindful stop, everybody stop where they are. Let's take a breath and let's decide what we need to be doing right now. And I think if you practice that more and more, and it became a practice, because it's going to take repetition,
Yeah.
It could be kind of a creative way of like, freeze frame, stop, freeze, take a breath. But I would encourage the taking a breath part of it because that helps to relax the nervous system in that moment. Everybody would get that benefit.
I mean, I have to say, doing the breathing, I guess when I think of mindfulness and like when we talk about meditation, I instantly like go to the thought of breathing meditation.
Yeah.
And so I guess when you asked earlier about like if I meditate, I don't really think of like, I don't at first think about like puzzle doing as meditation, but it is. But I do actually really would like to, I guess going to what I would love for our family is to have some more moments of like breathing meditation because it's incredibly calming.
Yeah.
For that period of silence. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm very impressed that we can all do that.
You were able to do it. I mean, there were some real quiet moments during this practice that we did together. There were some real nice quiet. And so I think it's just like, it's a practice. So you have to, someone would have to initiate the reminder, of, okay, guys, let's all take a breath right here. Even at the dinner table, like before you do your gratitude, it could all be someone says, okay, let's notice where our bodies are, check your feet, check your back, and let's all take a breath. And now, what are we grateful for? I think anytime you bring it back to the breath, Sarah, that might just be a really good way to bring it into the routine, is to have it relate to a breath. Let's all take a breath right now,
Thank you.
Yeah, something to work on. So, all right. Well, I appreciate so much that you took time in your evening, and I want to give you an opportunity, Sarah or Sam or both, to plug Rethreads. Tell us about Rethreads. Tell us the hours. Tell us, yeah. Use this time to plug what you do.
I don't know. I mean, we're just we're clothing and gear exchange in Taos. We do trade for like street clothing and we do consignment on outdoor stuff. We're just trying to repurpose stuff and get it back out into like there's a lot of people with full closets that stuff is useful to someone else. So
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay,
that's
and
kind
so
of how we roll.
right, and so where are you located?
302 Paseo del Pueblo Sur,
Yeah.
right just south of Smith's on the corner by the laundromat. And yeah, our mission really is just to help reduce the carbon footprint,
Yeah. And what are the hours?
Pretty much 10 to 5, 5:30 on the weekdays.
10 to 5 on Saturday and Sunday noon to 5.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else that I have forgotten to mention or ask, or anything that you would like to ask at this time or mention?
Do you girls have anything you want to
Do you
add?
have anything you want to say?
Bah. I love kitties.
You love kitties. I love kitties too. I have a kitty too.
Find the kitties and snuggle them.
Kitties are good therapy.
Yes, mindful kitty time is a good one too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you're doing.
Okay.
Really appreciate you.
Take care.
Okay, girls, want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So I would like to thank you all for listening to this podcast. If you'd like to be a guest on Welcoming a Mindful Future, please reach out. You can email me at mindfulfrontiers@gmail.com. The Welcoming a Mindful Future podcast is dedicated to bringing mindfulness and meditation to families with children. It's our vision and my life path to welcome a mindful future, one child, parent, family, and community, one present moment at a time. So until the next podcast episode of Welcoming a Mindful Future, may all beings be peaceful and at ease. Bye for now. Welcoming a Mindful Future is a podcast by Mindful Frontiers, an education-based meditation center located in northern New Mexico. We offer mindfulness and meditation workshops, classes, coaching, and instruction for children, parents, families, classrooms, and individuals. We believe that mindfulness is an important part of welcoming a positive future for ourselves, our communities, and our world. These podcasts are shared freely, and your support helps Mindful Frontiers reach a wider audience. Thank you for your generous donation through this podcast platform.